What's going on, guys? It's Thomas on the Switch Top. As always, I'm joined by PJ, and welcome to the 18th ever episode of our podcast, Nintendo Tonight. Now, this is a very special episode. It's kind of a return episode because we went on an impromptu, unfortunate,
Hiatus.
unintended hiatus. Yeah, it was not, I mean,
Oh boy.
both of us, we would rather just be sitting here at our desks all day, 24/7, doing nothing
Yeah.
but recording podcast episodes. Um, that's actually partially a lie. I would like to do other things with my life besides the podcast. However, I mean, both of us, we enjoy doing these episodes. Just,
Sure.
life gets in the way sometimes, but what can you do, PJ? Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
Nothing. I guess you
Fair
can record
enough.
episode 18, I guess. So that's what we're doing now.
Yes.
All right. So
we
today we have a pretty stacked ballot, so to speak. We have talking about Metroid Prime 4. We're going to talk about Retro Studios, obviously the developers of Metroid Prime 4. They've been making some pretty shifty behind-the-scenes moves. They've been expanding their HQ secretively with some, secret hirings and, I guess, promotions. So we'll talk about those and what that means for the long-awaited, coveted Metroid Prime 4. We'll talk about something that came out of left field, really, this past week, I think, during the Nintendo Direct. I don't know. Time is just a construct, obviously, now. But, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
during the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase Mini, something like that, whatever it's called, obviously, we got the incredible and really bizarre announcement that Nintendo Switch is now going to have, like, cloud games, like, outside of just Japan. So we got Control and Hitman 3, both as cloud games. We're going to talk about that, not just, that idea in general, but also what other games we would want to see brought over in their cloud forms to Switch, which is, going to be exciting as always, because that's just an interesting thing to talk about. Also, just, again, really, really bizarre that even, it happened. But yeah, we'll get into that then. And then we have another pretty interesting one. This has kind of become a cult fan favorite, although there are some people who kind of hate this. The Nontendo section, where we talk about something not Nintendo related, because we do exist outside of Nintendo. PJ, I think. Do we?
I think so. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So we'll be talking about once again, this is a bit late, but we'll be talking about the finals of the NBA playoffs. The championships, one might say, because that is what they're called.
Yes.
We'll
Yes,
be
they
talking
are.
all about that. Yeah, all about that. Making some funny memes at the expense of probably just Danny Green, and we'll
Yes.
be talking about that entire series. Then as always, we're gonna end off with the fan questions, which you guys can submit, and you guys have been submitting. Thank you guys so much for that. You guys can submit these fan questions over on our Discord, under the hashtag NT Questions channel. You can also just talk over there. We have an awesome community. We game a lot, like play a lot of Mario Kart, a lot of Smash Bros. So that's always fun. So yeah, hit us up on Discord. If you're on the YouTube, it should just be in the description. If not, if you're on like iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon, we added on more distributors.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
pretty exciting. Yeah. So if you're on like
sure.
Amazon or
Google.
Yeah, Google. Okay, Google. That's
Which
the
we
one.
appeared on randomly, by the way, which is still funny.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We didn't
Yep.
intend to put ourselves on Google, but we looked us up on Google and we were there. So, hey,
Yeah,
I mean,
what a concept, dude. What a concept, eh?
RSS feeds are a magical system. But anyway, yeah.
Yes.
So we will answer those fan questions that you guys have joyously sent over on the hashtag NT Questions channel on our Discord, and then that'll be it. So with that out of the way, PJ. Do you want to just take us, start us off with this Metroid Prime 4 news? Because I know you've been following this.
Bit.
You've been
Little
keeping tabs on it. So let's, just recap all that stuff happening with Retro right now.
For sure. So Metroid Prime's 4 development has been a little strange for sure. They've restarted like full development at least once. I mean, probably twice behind closed doors. I would probably believe that by now. But they've made some news waves recently this week and last week. Expanding their HQ with $500,000, along with hiring an ex-Rockstar dev as their lead producer now. So, with these hirings, I hope we're getting closer to this release or even some news about it, because the last time we heard about it was like the 2018 Game Awards, I believe. So it's definitely been a while, and
We heard about it at the Game Awards.
It was, it
am
was,
I
dude.
like just
It was an E3 or Game Awards. I can't remember.
I
It's
think
like,
it was the 2017 E3 was the initial announcement,
yeah. And
and
then
then
we
we
got,
got it
didn't we
will
get a
in Jan
delay? Didn't we get a
yeah, we got
delayed
the
announcement
delay
in the
announcement
January?
in
Yeah,
January of 2019. I
right.
don't
That's
know
what
if
it
you
was.
want to, qualify that as news because it was literally anti-news. It was like
Yep.
this is,
The
you
exact thing
don't
that
get
you
to learn
don't want to
anything.
hear. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
hey, what can you do?
Yeah, for sure. But what do you think of all of this? Because I hope to hear something soon. I mean, with these hirings, I don't know if they've really gotten along very far. Considering, like, if they're hiring like lead producers here, it really concerns me for like the just like the release date now, because like I kind of thought it was gonna be like 2021 mid, but like now I'm thinking like late 2022, man. Like it's not looking
Yeah.
good for Metroid Prime. But what do you think about all this?
Yeah, it's definitely not looking too hot for this hotly anticipated game. I would say, if Retro Studios is able to move heaven and earth on a time frame, perspective for the timetables, I'm saying late 2021, as in like December,
Right.
because if you think about it logically, they probably started around December of 2018
29
because
or
the
18, yeah.
2018, yeah, because the delay was announced in January of 2019, so they probably started before they announced the delay.
Who knows? They
So
could have started again. We were, we really
yeah, no,
don't know.
that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
that's
Yeah,
the
so
last thing people want to hear, though. Yeah.
if it started end of 2018 and according to my guess, then releases end of 2021, that
Hmm.
is a 3 year, that is 3 years, that is a fair amount of time. So I think I mean that's towards the upper end of Nintendo's game development. Of course, then you got games like Cyberpunk 2077 that
That
have
got
been in
delayed
development
again.
for, I mean that game's literally been in development for what, like six,
It's been
like I
6 or 7 years because I remember seeing the trailer in like 2013. I want to say.
Yeah, I
So
honestly think it's been like 6, 7. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if it was like 8 years now,
yeah,
which is just bizarre.
somehow,
But
yeah, somehow with like Keanu Reeves and everything. Just like quick side note, somehow with Keanu Reeves, like they've still kind of like kept up the hype. Like people are getting very annoyed now that it was delayed to December now. But I feel like this is the final delay and it's actually gonna come out then. Like there's no
yeah,
way.
I honestly do agree with that because I think the reason they've been delaying it so much was because they wanted to hit this holiday.
Yeah, I mean that was the reason for this delay, at
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that, I mean, if the holidays didn't play a factor, I think it probably would have been delayed into like January or February. But
Yeah.
they delayed it to literally like 3 weeks before Christmas. Like that's the last time they can delay it unless they want to go a full another year to hit next holiday, which
Yeah, that's.
I
But
don't think they're doing.
by then,
So
all of your promotion dies down. But anyway, back to retro.
yeah. So back to retro. I think it's definitely possible that they had some sort of like development crisis within the first within the first year, essentially,
For
of Metroid
sure.
Prime 4. Because keep in mind, this is not a game they really wanted to make, or at least not one that they intended to. They were definitely working on a different project, or they were doing something behind the scenes before Metroid Prime 4 was so graciously dumped on them by Nintendo. So Nintendo was essentially like, hey, you guys want to work on Metroid Prime 4? And I would assume that, when Nintendo offers you to, like, lets you work on Metroid Prime 4, you don't really deny that opportunity. So they, of course, said yes. And that's, where we are now. But, they weren't initially intending to work on this. So because of that, maybe it could be taking a bit longer than the 3 year period. So I'd say 2021 or 2022. But
Maybe
just at
early
least
2022. Like
yeah, early
I don't know.
2022. But if we don't get an update within 2021, then sound the alarms, sound the bells.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think it's like we will get another thing that says, delayed again, or literally something that says canceled. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, there's a high possibility that they may cancel it, or maybe like release Metroid Prime trilogy then cancel it, or like switch it around, etc. whatever. But I mean, like I still think the Prime trilogy is gonna come out like sometime. Like I'm still thinking that they're gonna release Prime trilogy next year,
Oh, for sure.
regardless of
Yeah.
all of these like 35th anniversary Zelda rumors. Like I think two games that are kind of like set in stone next year. Like this is just my opinion. Like it's not like any rumor based thought or anything, but I think that we'll see like Skyward Sword HD and Metroid Prime trilogy.
Yeah.
With 3D World as like the three ports that Nintendo is kind of doing, because at least past those, past that and like No More Heroes, I guess. Jesus. I want Nintendo to kind of chill out on the ports a little bit and to do some new stuff, because the whole 3D All Stars hype train for all that time was pretty fun, but I'm looking to move my hype towards new games. So
Yeah.
for
Fair
sure,
enough.
I think I want Nintendo to kind of chill out on like the port heavy production, promotion, all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's kind of funny saying that because I literally, I mean, both of us, I guess,
Yeah.
we've been asking
Yeah.
for ports for
Yeah, like
an unholy
people are
amount
gonna
of
call,
time, but
yeah, people are gonna call us a hypocrite, but like I'm looking at this now and I'm like, okay, like we gotta branch out a little bit here, guys. Like, come on now, like
oh, for sure.
it's
Yeah.
getting a little insane. Like, I'm like, if they do Triforce collection, and I still don't think it's gonna happen, but if they do like a Triforce collection and like actually like celebrate,
That would be.
Zelda's 35th anniversary. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, because like I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, but considering you just hop off the Mario 35 and then you hop on the Zelda one, then it would be like, come on, man. And it's,
Yeah, they
I don't know.
just need to
I don't
have
know how
new
I feel
game
about
like
it.
they need to have more new games next year than they
Oh,
had this
definitely.
year. I feel like overall 2020 they actually really pulled it around. Like if you look at it,
They definitely
if we
clutched up. It was looking very,
yeah,
grim at the beginning, of course,
it
but
was looking very grim, but we got three really big titles from Nintendo being Animal Crossing, a new Paper Mario, and
3D All Stars, I guess.
well, well, I'm not counting that because that's a
Fair enough.
port. We got Animal Crossing, Paper Mario, and what's it called? Age of Calamity, which is like a new
Right.
Zelda.
Right.
So yeah, oh, and on top of that, obviously in terms of ports, we got like Pikmin 3 Deluxe, obviously All
Which
Stars.
I personally don't really care about, but
Yeah, but I mean, hey, I'm glad Pikmin fans are happy. But
sure.
I'm just saying that we look at those Animal Crossing New Horizons. Most of that game's development was not even done in 2019 because it released so early, in 2020 because it released so early. It was supposed to be in 2019. Most of
I
that
think
game's
it could.
development has our
I think it
yeah
could have even been delayed, to be quite honest with you, because there's like serious things missing from that game. Well, they've done a good job now with putting stuff into the game, but on release, it definitely
yeah
felt
no
like
I know what you
very
mean.
like unpolished to me.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, no, I agree.
unfortunately Nintendo has been doing sometimes throughout the Switch's releases, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah. But like just in terms of like I'm thinking at this from a perspective of what is Nintendo currently working on.
Right.
They really, Ages of Calamity is the biggest game. What I would say is the biggest game for them to develop this year, and it is being developed by a different studio because a different studio does the Hyrule Warrior stuff. Like
Warrior
you look
series,
at
yeah.
yeah, the Warrior series just in general. You
Right.
look at Paper Mario. That is developed by Intelligent Systems, which is owned by Nintendo or works closely with Nintendo, but is not Nintendo. So like
Right.
what is Nintendo's core EAD like their internal development teams? What were they doing this year? Like they were porting stuff, working on additional content for Pikmin. Like there's got to be a lot of stuff coming in 2021, or at least that's what
I
I
mean, I agree
you
with you there. I mean, like you even made a video on it. I think Nintendo's 2021 can be one of the best in like company's history. Like maybe unpopular opinion, but there is a possibility that we can get, and like I doubt this, but there is a possibility that we can get a new 3D Mario game and a new Zelda next year. Very, very
yeah.
unlikely, but it's possible. I mean, like we don't know
Well, I
what they're
mean,
doing, so
Bowser's Fury looks so good that it could
I
mean,
hope
it's
I
not
hope
a
it's not
full
a
new 3D
disappointment.
Mario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I
It's not
mean,
going to be a full new 3D Mario, but like you might as well you could probably make the argument that like for most people, because most people did not play 3D World. If Breath of the Wild
exactly.
2 comes out next year, for most people that's a new 3D Mario and
Hmm.
um a new 3D Zelda. So like
Right. I
kind of
mean,
crazy.
like it's cool. I see what they're doing here. I see that they're trying to port all of their very good Wii U games that flopped for just like the general population, I guess, of like gaming
Yeah.
fans, and even like general people who like buy the Switch because of things like Animal Crossing and stuff like that. But kind of expanding that audience to games like Mario Kart 8, which obviously ported right near the beginning of the Switch. You have 3D World, of course. I mean, that game was very underrated, and it's obviously getting its love now. Now that it is being ported over and having some sort of expansion, which we still don't really know what that is yet. So hopefully that's good. But overall, like I see what they're doing. It's kind of cool. But I've gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, like let's chill out here and let's let's do something new because me as a Nintendo fan who have played all of these games basically, I'm just I'm like, okay, whatever. Again, I know what they're doing, but just where I'm at as a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it. I was thinking of that meme where it's like
Oh yeah.
I can't. I think it's from SpongeBob. I don't know. It'll probably come back to me in a bit. But it's like some sort of cartoon where like or no, not SpongeBob. It's like Jimmy Neutron, where the kid comes into class with the same thing for show and tell every day.
Oh.
And so he goes like I don't know. He's like, the class, this is my blank, and then the teacher goes, whatever the kid's name is. That's the I think it's like Carl Weezer. I don't remember. That's like the 7th time you've shown the class blank for show and tell or something like that. I feel like that's what Nintendo's doing right now, with their different games. But I mean, the thing is, to be fair, to make that analogy make sense for Nintendo, I mean, imagine, if I was Carl, I would keep bringing that thing to class. If every time you brought it to class, it made you a lot more money, and the class also like kind of, some people in the class stayed the same, but a lot more people were added to the class, so a lot more people were seeing it for the first time.
Right.
So, like,
right.
we're the people, PJ, where we've seen this thing before. We're like, okay, come on, get to the new stuff. But it's
Exactly.
it's so hard when you think that, like, that's not the case for the majority of people. Like, the Switch has already outsold the Wii U by literally, like, a factor of 5. Like, it's just it's not even a comparison. So,
For sure.
I don't know. It sucks, and obviously we hope that more new games will come out, but that's always been a problem with the Switch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can have a whole other segment in another episode of talking about like the problems with the Switch, which we may even get into a little bit later. But what the Switch is surprisingly doing, transitioning to our next point here, Nintendo was getting into cloud gaming, and like my first reaction to this was like, wow, like I didn't think that Nintendo would hop on this new trend, I guess, or like new trend of gaming and just like this whole new technology, because they're not really ones to kind of hop on that. They're the ones that say like, okay, we're gonna do it our way, and like we say so many times, a step forward and then a step like backwards and then to the side and then like side step or whatever, right? So what's
spin
your
around.
whole reaction? Yeah, spin around. So what's your whole reaction to this cloud gaming for Nintendo? Because it's crazy.
It is definitely bizarre. I think this is the doing of one man, Shintaro Furukawa, the current president of Nintendo. This is a guy who they brought in. He's now the president. He's a businessman. He is not, he's not Hiroshi Yamauchi, who was the president of Nintendo throughout the, from the NES to the GameCube. And, he saw Nintendo build up, and he kind of really knows that Nintendo doesn't really like they don't really stick with the times. They kind of just go off and do their own thing.
And
this man is also not,
fair,
it works. Yeah. This man is not Satoru Iwata, who, bless his soul, created like the DS and the Wii, which are two of the most popular systems of all time, and were just absolutely like changed the way gaming, outsiders thought about video games. Like, it just changed everything. And so
for example, sorry to interrupt, like how many people had or have or had a Wii in their family room, for example? It's just insane.
The new guy, Shintaro Furukawa, he is very business-minded, and to his credit, he understands marketing better than I think either of the past presidents did. The Switch's marketing has always been top-notch. I just don't think he really, even if he understands the legacy of Nintendo, he clearly just doesn't really want to follow it as much as the other presidents did. He's more so with the times, and he's more so, willing to try
take
and
risks.
Or not even take risks, because the past presidents took risks, but it's that sort of like he's willing to do what the other big video game companies are doing if it, if it'll help the business. Which
Right. Okay.
whereas like in the past, Nintendo was always like, even with stuff like online play, like the Wii barely did online, like
Yeah, they were
there
very
were
behind in that aspect, and like
yeah,
somewhat they
and they
still
still
are.
are, you could
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's very good, I guess, to see Nintendo trying these like big, um high like high technology. I don't even know how would you phrase it. Like these ideas that are clearly like the future of gaming. Like it's good to see Nintendo at least like dipping their toes in this, but at the same time, it's just not the Nintendo we're used to seeing. So that's why to us it's like, okay, what is going on here? Like why are you like going into cloud gaming? Cuz
Mhm.
like cloud gaming is some of the most experimental parts of the industry right now. Like I mean, you can look at Google Stadia, absolute joke. That flopped so hard.
Yep.
Amazon's trying their new, Amazon's trying one called like Luna. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Um,
I think it's gonna
there's this,
flop too.
yeah,
Even yeah.
yeah, that's gonna flop as well. Obviously won't hurt Amazon at all. They're just too big to fail. But you know,
But like
for them, it's
the
probably like a
product, yeah, the product itself, I think is gonna fail. But
yeah,
we'll
no,
see.
it'll 100%. Or well, I don't want to say 100%, but
High
it's not looking
possibility,
too
we
hot.
think at least. Yeah.
Yeah. But then there are even other services. I don't know if you've heard of this. I don't know even who owns this, but
Hmm.
there's this service coming out early 2021 called or it's called like Shadow something. I don't know. But it essentially
No.
allows you, it's like a subscription service. It's like $13 a month, and it gives you a virtual machine essentially. So like, you run a Windows PC on your Android phone, your MacBook, or your Windows PC, but your virtual machine is streaming from like some crazy, super powerful PC. So if for example, I just bought Star Wars Squadrons. It's a really fun game, but my current PC can't run it like well at all. It's just my current PC is not good. Like once the Shadow thing comes out, if I subscribe to the Shadow thing and my Wi-Fi was good enough, which it is right now, then I could literally like I would open up Shadow. I would go to like like Shadow is like it's like a Windows machine on my computer, and I'm not 100% sure it's called Shadow, but I think it is. It's something like that. And then I could open up Star Wars Squadrons, and even though my machine that is right here under my desk is not powerful enough to run that game well, I could run
Mhm.
it on ultra settings just with a little bit of input delay because it would be streaming it from a server miles away from my house. Like that right there, I mean, it's similar to what Microsoft is doing with Project xCloud. That is the future of video games. And that is essentially, for those of you who don't know, that is what Nintendo is doing right now with a game called Control on the Switch and Hitman 3 coming at a later date. And they data mined a file icon for Resident Evil 3, which is also coming at a later date. So it's crazy to think that those are titles that you can now play on the Switch because those are very like high graphically intensive titles, and for Control like you can even play it on the Switch with the ray tracing, which is crazy to think of.
Right.
But then again, the Switch is essentially just acting as a monitor at that point, and the all the internals aren't really doing much at all. So I mean that's what cloud gaming is, just explaining it for people who don't know. And I personally believe it's probably the future of gaming once Wi-Fi gets better and everyone can do it reliably. But it's so
Exactly.
experimental right now because it depends on your Wi-Fi, which is why it's so bizarre to see Nintendo trying to do this.
Yeah, it's really odd, at least for especially the Switch right now, because of what like the Switch does and what it's known for. I mean, like the console you can play anywhere, right? Uh, it's strange, but I like the risk that they're taking. I kind of commend it at least. Like I'm not really like big into like cloud gaming and that whole idea, but if it's the future, it's the future, like whatever. But I feel like just like the general premise of cloud gaming, it can help people with like not as powerful PCs or people who don't want to like go full out building or like getting the best parts for a PC. Cloud gaming can do that, like as you said, streaming it off of like some super powerful computer that you obviously don't own. So the concept of it really interests me, but I'm really intrigued by why Nintendo is doing it now. At least I feel like they're doing it a little too early. But I mean, I guess we'll see and see what happens, right? Because you gotta accept change, especially with gaming, because it is a very big industry at least, and
Yeah.
just gotta see.
Yeah, it's a quick to change medium.
Oh,
But
for sure.
now that we've gone over, generally our thoughts on Nintendo going into cloud gaming, let's talk about the potential repercussion sounds negative. Consequence also sounds negative, but the root of the word consequence is just like, the result of an action, so I guess I'll say that. Let's talk about the consequence, or the result, I guess, of Nintendo going into cloud gaming, which is, for us, the end user, that is the games we will get to play. So, PJ, I ask you, what are some games that are really like graphically intensive, right? Games that you would not expect would get ported to Switch, that you would want to get ported to Switch so that you could play them on the cloud. Like what's a
Ooh.
game you want to play on Switch that will probably not actually end up getting ported, so you just want it to be ported in the same way that Control was ported, where like it's streamed
Yeah.
somewhere. It's yeah.
There's this Star Wars game that they made, and I really enjoyed it. It came out a little while ago, so I have to find the name of it. But that game I played on my PC through Epic Games, and it was really fun. Give me 1 second. Star Wars on
All
Google is
right.
probably not going to give me the name of it, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah,
What
Star
what?
Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That was the one. I
Oh
think that would
yeah.
be really sick. Like, obviously the Switch can't handle that because that game looks very pretty in high graphics. So that's an example of a game I would like to see at least because
Yeah, that's a
that
good
was
one.
really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that game. I just have too much stuff going on with like school and
On your
whatnot. But
backlog and that too. Yeah.
yeah, once I get into like gaming mode again, I have a backlog stacked to high heaven. It is ridiculous how many games I have. I mean, there's just a lot I'd want to play on Switch. One game that has me just kind of like, if this came to Switch in any capacity, it's like, oh boy. I guess there's technically two: Halo, the Master Chief Collection, and
Oh, for
Halo
sure.
Infinite. Just because like those games, Switch can't run them. Like
Oh hell no.
it just can't. But the thing is, Microsoft is also a very big proponent of this whole cloud gaming thing. So it's definitely possible to potentially see a Halo Cloud Collection or Halo Infinite Cloud version come to the Switch. I don't want to say soon, but eventually. That would not surprise me at all.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just trying to think. Like any Rockstar game would be phenomenal, like
I
GTA
was yeah
Five.
I was gonna say GTA, but I was like, I mean, like it doesn't really exactly like fit the Switch. Like there's a lot of games that you can say like Doom for example that you wouldn't expect to like see on Switch, but like GTA especially with like how explicit that game can be, I would be not really against it, but it would be like out of its place at least I think.
I could see that, but at the same time, I just feel like the Switch has so many like different games, like you said, like Doom or Wolfenstein, that at this point, like, there's not really a game that wouldn't fit on Switch. Like, it would be so out of place that it's like, whoa, okay, like take a step back. It would definitely be a big departure, but it's not like putting GTA on the Wii U where it would have been like, whoa, okay, what is happening? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That would have been bizarre. But yeah, no, there's a ton of games. This game really fell off, but Fall Guys was fun back when it was
Yeah,
something I
what
actually
happened to
played.
that game, by the way?
Yeah,
Like,
kind of just
just
got
like
roasted by
dipped.
Among Us, because
Yeah.
Among Us like is just like a better party game, I would say, and no one really plays Fall Guys alone. It was a game you play with friends. So,
Honestly,
um,
it was smart though because like Among Us is like really cheap and it's free on phone, but
yeah,
Fall Guys is like what is it like $15 or
twenty
something? So
bucks,
like
I
oh
think. Yeah,
20 yeah. So like there you go. I think they've made their money because they didn't even expect it to get that big anyway. So I think
yeah.
they've had their
Oh, for
return to
sure.
reality at least, and they've made way more money than they probably should have on the game itself.
Yeah, I think Fall. Yeah, I mean the Fall Guys developers. I think they're Mediatonic is their name.
Hmm.
They've obviously made way more money than they were expecting, and
Yeah.
good for them. The game is fun. Like there's no other way to put it. It's not. I don't think it deserved to blow up as much as it did, but it's a very fun game. I still will probably hop on from time to time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there's really not much to say about that. Anyway, going back to the games we'd want to see on the cloud gaming. I really can't think of too many more. I'm just trying to think of like games I enjoy. A lot of like a really big part of me wants to say, um, like some multiplayer games like COD.
Yeah,
Battlefield
like
5.
Warzone maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, Warzone, that would be really sick. I just think that I'm not sure how bad the lag would be, playing a multiplayer game
Oh yeah.
on the while streaming the visual and obviously, the
Yeah.
online connection. I don't know how bad
Yeah.
that would be.
Like that's what
Um,
I mean about like I feel like Nintendo is like getting into it too soon because like they're kind of like limited by their library at least because like exactly like
yeah.
multiplayer games like Warzone or something like that. That's an example, but
Yeah, I mean, we'll
we'll
see.
see
We'll see. It's
for sure.
it's very experimental, just an interesting thought experiment. Curious
Definitely.
to see, Let us know down in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're
Hmm.
not and you're watching this on iTunes or Spotify,
Be sure to tweet
then
us at Nintendo Tonight and
yeah,
let us
tweet
know.
us. Good point. I was just gonna
Good
say like
plug.
I don't know. Yeah, good plug.
And if you're on a podcast service, you know what? Don't do anything. It's fine. No.
just chill.
Yeah, yeah.
You're all good.
Just vibe. Exactly.
They're straight up just vibing over there on
Of course.
on other platforms.
Services, platforms.
Yeah,
Yep.
services.
For sure. All right. So if we're done there with cloud gaming and I am. So any closing thoughts?
No, I think we're all good there. I just want to be able to play Star Wars Squadrons, man. My computer don't run it. It no worky. I gotta get a new one. Yeah,
Hit no worky.
bro, it brokey. That's actually something I'll talk about later after the call. But the funniest YouTube video of all time, or not of all time, but a very funny YouTube video I saw is, you know who Two Mad is?
No, I don't.
Okay, he's this. I don't even know how you describe him. He's like if like the like 12-year-old like Reddit banned kid who just like has like like
So
spastic
basically, if you got
episodes.
clout. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like that. If that dude was like an
Clouded.
overweight like 20-year-old or like 26-year-old black man who just had way too much money to do whatever they wanted and just had no shame like at all. Like he literally just like
Respectable.
yeah, he just does not care. So he's kind of like a mix between like cringe and funny at the same time. But then he did a video where he went on Linus Tech Tips and got Linus to build him a PC, and it was the funniest collab ever because they go through this entire thing building the PC, and Two Man is just being so cringy the entire time. He's asking Linus like if he knows how to like if he knows what like sicko mode is, and Linus is like some like nerd, so he's like, I don't know what that is. And then at the end, Linus goes, so Two Mad, like this PC is a top of the line build. What PC are you running right now? Like what's your specs back at home? And Two Mad just goes with like stone face, like I got an i9 2080 Ti. And Linus just, you could see the life just drain from his eyes because Two Mad already has a better computer than the one they're building for him right now. And Linus goes, well, why did whoa, like Linus is freaking out, and then Two Mad just goes, nah, it's good we got this one though, cause mine brokey, it no worky, and it's just so stupid. That's the like that. Oh my god, it's so funny. You guys, if that sounds like if like, have you ever seen the movie Borat? Or like
Yeah.
it's like Borat or like Impractical Jokers. If you've seen that, it's like that style of like cringe comedy. That video, look up like Two Mad builds Linus Tech Tips Two Mad PC, and then watch Linus's video, then Two Mad's behind the scenes video in that order. And it's just, oh my, it's so funny, so funny. Anyway, that was a tangent. That was
Yep.
such a tangent, but
All
I
good.
love that video.
All
So like the cringe is palpable. Oh man.
For sure. All right, so moving on here, we can get to Nontendo.
Yes.
So the NBA Finals has concluded, and it was the Lakers versus the Heat, which the Heat defeated your Celtics, by the way, which I'll ask you
I
about
don't want to
that
talk about it.
in a second.
I don't want to talk about it.
So went to 6. The Lakers ended up winning. LeBron was the Finals MVP. So I don't know how closely you watched it, but what was your opinion of the Finals? And then let me know your feelings of your Celtics team that got defeated by the Heat.
Tragic.
Yeah, for sure.
The tragedy. Honestly,
What went wrong?
I didn't. Okay, I'll just be very
Honest.
I'll be very upfront. I don't think the finals were that interesting. No one really thought that he had a chance. They ended up pushing it to game 7 or game 6, obviously, which was crazy to me. but
Basically, just two super like heroic performances by Jimmy Butler, and
yeah,
I think what really lost the Heat the series was, of course, like the injuries, and then also like the lack of rest. Like at the end of Game 6, like they were dead. Like
yeah.
they just did not look energized whatsoever. Like they got blown out. They were just way too tired. It was just whatever team could withstand it the most, and the Lakers proved that they wanted it more, I guess. But just thanks to like two super heroic performances from Jimmy Butler is the only reason they won those two games. Otherwise, they probably should have got swept.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I didn't want either team to win because I didn't like the Heat because we played them and we lost, and I don't like the Lakers because I'm a Celtics fan. And this was win 17 for them, right? Which
Yeah, which
now
ties
puts
you.
them which ties the Celtics as most wins, which is sad. So don't not a huge fan of that. But what can you do? I mean, they like I don't know. They weren't the best team in the league, I don't think. So
Who
it's just
was?
like I honestly think if they didn't choke so much, I think the
Wow.
Clippers in the from an overall talent perspective, I don't think you could say
They were definitely the most talented, but their chemistry was so lacking that they just
yeah,
couldn't hold together. People didn't want
I
to be
don't
in the
know.
bubble. Like you remember, my pick
Yeah.
was Clippers in 6 or 7 against the Celtics in the finals, which clearly
Yeah.
both teams could not get there. So,
Yeah.
um,
I think I don't
Paul
know.
George, by the way, oh
Brick City, Pandemic P with the super fire.
yeah,
I think
pandemic.
it's just I don't know. If you look at like going into like not even the Eastern Conference and finals and Western Conference finals, but going into like the round before that, like the quarterfinals,
Yeah.
choosing any combination of teams to make it to the finals, I honest to God think the Lakers versus the Heat is the most boring combination. Like it's just not. It just was not exciting to watch. And I
I can
mean,
agree with you about the Heat, but the East was kind of boring this year. There wasn't a lot of like super
no,
team
no, no. I know.
slash like
I'm saying
very
like the
good duos.
combination of the two, like
No,
Lakers
I
Heat.
agree. I agree.
Just like the one storyline I guess you could get from that is like LeBron going against his former team, but that's not even something like the Cavs are his former team, the Heat's the former like it doesn't really matter. You could make the point that like you know
You know what's
there's just
sad?
nothing
It was
exciting there.
yeah, it was more about LeBron versus Pat Riley, which for those of you who don't know, he's like the president of basketball operations for the Miami Heat. And when LeBron left Miami, they kind of left off, bad terms or whatever. And because kind of like LeBron left Pat Riley dry because didn't really leave him with anything. Like Dwayne Wade was getting older and his body was breaking down, and then
On the decline.
Chris Bosh had those blood clots, which we found out later in like 2015 or 16. So, that potential dynasty ended way too soon. But I think the people around the organization kind of figured why LeBron went back to Cleveland. But anyway, I feel like the finals was more promoted about like LeBron versus Pat Riley instead of like LeBron versus like Jimmy Butler or like the showdown of like AD versus Bam Adebayo because Bam was injured some of the series and just didn't really.
Yeah, it was just boring. Like there's no way I could say it. It was just boring. Like imagine Celtics versus Lakers. Like that would have been
See now,
from a non-biased perspective.
yeah.
Like wouldn't that have been more exciting
No,
than the
no, and
what?
I'll give you a reason why because if I really wanted to see the most entertaining finals possible, I would have told you Lakers versus healthy Nets. But the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry, I think, has been dead ever since 2011. Ever since LeBron basically like bullied KG and Paul Pierce over to the Nets and then ended them. The Lakers versus Celtics rivalry hasn't really been a thing since then, and Jason
No, I don't
Tatum.
think you understand the rivalry. I don't think you understand.
I do. No, I do understand. I understand
Okay,
it.
okay.
I understand the franchise. I'm talking about the actual teams itself because I think we can both agree LeBron James and AD are more entertaining to watch than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. At least in my opinion, just because of the superstar
you're not
power yet.
wrong, yeah.
They don't have the accolades yet. Now, if the Celtics had like Kevin Durant, or if the Celtics had like Kawhi Leonard, then okay, yeah, sure, I'll agree with you. But the thing that was big about the Celtics versus Lakers rivalry in like all of history, like Wilt versus Bill, Magic and Kareem versus Bird and McHale, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen versus Kobe and Powell. And it's not the same. Like the Celtics have to like raise their level up to like kind of be in the same like conversation as like the Lakers, such as like just their not popularity, but you know what I mean, like
Do
to
you think
rival
yeah,
those
within superstar
those
power?
yeah,
I mean,
right.
I understand what you mean, but I also think from once again, this is obviously incredibly biased from my perspective, but I think
Tatum has the
Jason
potential,
Tatum
yes, yeah.
I think Tatum is a superstar in
No,
the
I agree.
making. Like
I
within the
agree.
next three
I agree.
years, he will be on that level.
I agree.
Um,
But he's
I,
he's just not at that level yet, and that's the issue for me, right? I don't see
yeah.
him as that. And Jalen Brown doesn't even have an All Star. And then like you know what's sad? Kemba Walker was like the huge acquisition, and notice how I haven't said a single word about him. That's how
Yeah,
unimportant he was
he
towards the playoffs. I was like, dude, where is he? Like,
no, he
where was he in the
completely
Raptors
lacking.
series? Where was he in the Heat series? Like, I mean,
No, yeah,
damn, like.
he was getting double teamed, but like as a player at his level, he has to be able to break that containment. It just was
Like
brutal.
listen, I mean, like I get he was in Charlotte his whole career, which is horrible, right? But like, I mean, what can you say? Like, I would like to see Lakers versus Celtics if, like, you know, obviously I think it's possible when LeBron retires and if the Lakers get another star beside AD, assuming that he'll like lifetime kind of Laker role like other stars have. But I think the Celtics definitely have to get somebody like a big name over there for them to be in that conversation because like Celtic teams historically have always been deeper than Laker teams, at least in my opinion, because you guys have always had the more superstar power. You guys have always had like the deeper benches and stuff like that, except for the Lakers in 2010, in my opinion, because you guys were like injured and stuff. But other than that, I mean, yeah, the Celtics definitely have to get stronger, at least for me to want to see Lakers versus Celtics. But you never know what can happen in the offseason because there are quite a few free agents. I mean, you guys could get Andre Drummond, which would be huge because
Yeah.
your bigs kind of suck. If I'm
Daniel
gonna be honest,
Tice.
Daniel
Well,
Tice is
yeah.
dude. He just like he looks like he should hop in an MMA ring. Like it's not that he can't play, but that's just what he looks like. It's like. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
I get
Andre
that.
Drummond would be huge because you guys were kind of lacking on the boards as well. So, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I think if we could get a Drummond, or if I didn't hate his guts and think his personality was utter
Oh, okay.
blank, a
Yeah.
Joel Embiid would be nice. I
The crying Joel
I don't
Embiid
know.
meme will always be there.
Oh, it's glorious. I
Oh,
love it.
speaking of Joel Embiid, listen, Tatum and Embiid versus LeBron and AD. Okay, you sold me. Okay, I'll watch that. I'll be excited
Yeah.
for that. But I don't think Embiid gets to the Celtics. That's the issue.
I don't want him on the Celtics. Get him away. Get him away. I literally I would be disappointed if Embiid came to the Celtics. He annoys the
Yeah.
ever living crap out of me.
Oh yeah, dude.
I just don't like
30
him
points,
as a
10
person.
rebounds. I feel so bad for you, man.
I would not want him. I swear to God. And I feel like a lot of Boston feels the same way. Like it would be like if
Okay, I agree with you. Like I know what he did in the playoffs. And, like ever since you guys had like that down year with like the Kyrie, prima donna and all that
Yeah.
crap. But yeah, I
I
mean, I
just
get it. I get the name, but not like the talent. I feel like if I was a like, Celtics
talent
fan, I'd be like,
100%.
yeah.
I mean
Like,
I literally said
personality is an issue.
talent wise I like him. I just Boston is a very weird sports city in the sense
Oh
that
yes,
like
it is.
we're very like we get very attached to the players, but it's always city above players. So like if Joel Embiid has talked bad about Boston, which he has, he can't recover from that. Like when Al Horford came to the Celtics after beating us as Atlanta in the
Yeah.
playoffs the year before, I think. We welcomed him with open arms because he had never talked bad about the Celtics, right?
Yeah.
But then when he left for the Sixers, he like there were some like offhand remarks or something about like I don't know, he didn't like the atmosphere or whatever. I don't remember what he was saying. But like if you listen to sports radio right now, like Al Horford is literally like the devil. Like they will make him out to be like Hitler 2000. Like it's just brutal. So yeah, I don't know how to describe the sports atmosphere here in Boston, but it's very
It's brutal but very loving if you're loyal, right? So
yeah, it's very like volatile. Like if we like you, we love you. But if we don't like you, you were dead to us. So I feel like
Yeah.
just you cannot bring someone like Embiid in here and
Yeah,
expect
I
the
agree.
transition to be smooth.
I agree. I mean, there was that rumor before that,
Yeah.
like Danny Ainge was trying to bring AD to the Celtics, which obviously didn't happen, and he went to your biggest rival. So,
Great.
a little unfortunate, but I mean,
We
if you
also
guys,
almost had KD. I would like to point that out there. When
yes,
KD
yes, you
went to
did,
went
yes,
to
you
the
did.
Warriors, we almost had him, but
Now, okay, if he went to the Celtics, I would not hate him, but I do. But he's so good, dude. It's so hard to hate that guy, but
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Lakers win the finals. Very impressive performances from LeBron and AD. Probably should have been a sweep, but thanks to Jimmy Butler, was not the case. But I think the Heat will be back. I think they'll get somebody. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
can't
read this
see
one. I'm gonna read
Jimmy
this one
leaving.
Giannis joke that I
Okay, go
saw
for
for
it.
the Raptors. And it was like a fake trade proposal. So Giannis or Raptors receive Giannis, Bucks receive Patrick McCaw, Danny Green's 2019 championship ring, and spin move lessons from Siakam.
Bro, his spinorama is undefeated. The
Yes.
Siakam spinorama, no one has ever beaten it. It's not predictable at all.
Oh no, no, dude, it's not. It's not. Of course not. He'll don't worry. He'll be back next year, spinning his way on to the ballet. Anyway, moving on to fan questions here. We'll talk Nintendo in a future episode for sure.
I just love
Very
talking about Siakam. Just it's so funny, bro. That man is such a
so
joke.
bad. All right, so moving on to fan questions. You guys have sent these in on Discord and Twitter and YouTube comments, so continue to send those in the Switch Stop Discord, which will be linked below in the YouTube description. In the NT-questions channel, you can send those in, and we'll choose a few to answer. So anyway, other than that, let's get right into it. So, question here from Sunny asking, do you think a new Pokemon game will come next year since the whole DLC is out for Pokemon Sword and Shield? And this is from Discord. All of these questions are from Discord, just for this episode, by the way. So, do you think a new Pokemon game will come out? If so, what will it be?
Um, okay. I think that a new Pokemon game will come out. I think it's without question a new Pokemon game will release.
Okay,
There are two options. One I think is 75% likely. One I think is 25% likely.
sure.
And both of these are mainline games, quote unquote. I'm not talking like Pokemon Snap could come out next year. That's not what I'm talking about. Like,
Right.
not what um, you know. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean. You're picking up what I'm putting down. You're smelling what I'm
course.
stepping in.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
so I
Okay.
think that there's a 25% chance. No, actually, I'm gonna revise those numbers. I'm gonna say it's a 15% and an 85%. I'm
Okay.
gonna say that there's a 15% chance that next year we do end up getting, PJ, plug your ears, the Pokemon Let's Go Johto games. I honestly do think there's a 15% chance. It's a very very
No.
small chance.
No
I'm,
shot.
I'm saying there's a 15% chance that we do get that. And then the 85% chance is, the polar opposite on the spectrum for you. Game you would hate and game you would love to hate and game you would love to love. Pokemon Eternal Diamond and Temporal Pearl. I don't know what
Sure.
what
Yeah.
they'll end up going with. Pokemon Cool Diamond and Cool Pearl. But something
Gen
like that.
4 remakes. Gen 4 remakes. Yeah.
There you
that's
go.
that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, well, I could have just said that, but I was trying to go with the juicy subtitle action, but I guess maybe I'll just stick to
I feel you. No,
just saying Gen 4.
I like Eternal Diamond and Temporal Pearl, even though that's like a tongue twister. So I think that might be revised of some sort. But
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like,
it's gotta roll off the tongue.
I kind of agree with you. To be quite honest, I'm. I really want to even switch over your percentages because this is how much I'm disappointed in the company. But like, it makes sense for them to do Gen 4 remakes, right? Like, I feel like Sword and
Yeah,
Shield,
no, for sure.
like riding through this year, if they were to do that signature Pokemon Direct in like the first like quarter of 2021 and released it like June or whatever, whenever they do it, or November I should say, maybe Maybe
Yeah.
that's what they
No,
do
that
there.
makes sense. That would be the
it,
timing.
it, it makes the most sense, but I feel like we're gonna get some sort of curveball that I'm really going to dislike. But I'm crossing my fingers,
And that
please.
curveball is the 15% Let's Go Johto. I'm just saying
That Yeah, and
that's my curveball.
I will definitely be skipping that. But yeah, I mean, I've talked about this 1,000 times. Just Game Freak and Pokemon Company, please don't mess it up. Just please don't. Um, anyway, so hopefully we get those Gen 4 remakes, and if we get the Let's Go Johto, I'm skipping. All right, so
Yeah.
question here for you, from With a Side of Beans from Discord, asking thoughts on the Quest 2. So I know nothing about VR, so you go ahead.
I see. I could grab it. Well, I have both my Quest 1 and Quest 2 over there. Quest 2, I think it's definitely the future of VR. I think what Facebook was able to produce for the $300 price tag is simply incredible. I think it's going to bring more people to VR than any other single headset has. Um, yeah, I think it's incredible, and it's a huge step for the industry. However, I would like to say, oh, and I don't care about the Facebook stuff. They can track my data. I literally don't care. I already have Instagram. I already have, like, it just doesn't bother me. I already have an Instagram account. What else are they gonna get? Like, what my room looks like with the tracking? Okay, don't care. Um, One thing I do think is a little sus though, or not sus, but one thing I am a little bit disappointed in. And this is the one thing I don't like about the Quest 2, or probably not the one thing, but like the thing that jumps to mind. I think they kind of cheaped out getting an OLED panel, or not getting an OLED panel. The LED panel in the Quest 2 is a lot better in terms of pixel density and resolution. But compared to the Quest 1, just the colors are and I'm not even one who like really cares about graphics that much. Like I really can't tell the difference between like 60 frames per second and 90 frames per second. I'm just not that like I don't know. I guess I have an untrained eye, but like I'm just not good at telling that sort of thing. Resolution, I mean I can notice it, but it's not just isn't the end of the world for me. But for some reason the OLED and the the LED panel on the Quest 2 not having the true blacks that the Quest 1 had, it's so noticeable when you get into like dark corridors. Instead of it like looking like you're in a dark corridor, it looks like you're in like a dark gray corridor or like something like that. It's just not. I don't know. I just don't like it. But that do not let that deter you from buying a Quest 2. That is such a small complaint, as you could probably discern from me saying that it only counts about small corridors. It or small dark like corridors in games. It's just yeah. It's Quest 2. If you've never gotten into VR and you have even the slightest
So
urge
people like
to,
me,
yeah, if you have even the slightest urge to get into virtual reality, Quest 2 is your best bet because it doesn't need a computer. It's the easiest to use. You can connect it to a computer. It's just everything you would want in a headset, pretty much, for the cheapest price. And obviously, if for some reason you wanted your first VR headset to be like even better than the Quest 2, then I mean Valve Index is there, but that's like $1,000. So yeah, I like sure you could do that, but it's kind of a weak reason for that. Like the pros that the Valve Index provides over the Quest 2, I do not think are worth the $700 extra dollars, but that's just me. I'm sure I'm gonna get swarmed by people who hate Oculus because of Facebook. Um, like
yeah, I feel like
yeah,
that
I don't
move
know.
was kind of strange, but at the same time, I mean, you get it, right?
Oh, it's 100% like anti-consumer and stuff. I just personally just could not care less. Like, I'm sorry, it's annoying to link it to your Facebook account, but once I did that, it literally has not impacted me since. So
Gotcha.
I don't care.
Well, yep, no answer because I am not a VR, not a
Get
VR
Quest 2,
guy, I
do
should
it.
say.
Yeah, you're
Maybe.
not a VR. No, no, no. I've gotten a fair amount of my friends who aren't even into video games to pre-order Quest 2s. Or not
Wow.
pre-order, but just to get Quest 2s for like Christmas and stuff. Because I mean, I'm a senior in high school, so a lot of my friends are also seniors in high school. Like, what are we going to ask for Christmas? Like, a lot of us have jobs. Like, if we want something, we just buy it. So I was like,
Yeah.
yo, you like asking anything for holidays? They're like, nah. I'm like, bro, get a Quest 2. They're like, nah, I don't think I want one. Then they come over to my house, and since I have two Quests, we'll play like a game, like a shooter game with each other. And they're like, oh, I gotta get one now because it's fun. So
For sure.
yeah.
For sure. All right. Question here from Ufi Ober from Discord asking what gaming announcement or non-gaming announcement has created the most hype out of you, and what announcement would make you go crazy? Now, this is very simple for me, to be quite honest. So I will do that. Gaming announcement that created the most hype out of me was hands down Mewtwo for Smash 4. Finally making the comeback into Smash after being cut from Brawl. So hype. Just the most excited I've ever been over anything gaming. Period. Non-gaming announcement. I mean, I guess it really wasn't an announcement, but I guess it would be like winning a championship, the Toronto Raptors winning a championship last year, and Kawhi winning the Finals MVP. I think that was like really hype for me, of course, because like, we never expected to win a championship. Like it's the Toronto Raptors, man. Like, it's just you just never expect things like that. And what announcement would make you go crazy? And now I'm gonna go with another non-gaming announcement here, and this would be the announcement of Giannis somehow coming to the Raptors. That would make me go crazy because I'd be like, oh, no way. But probably won't happen. But what about you?
I'm thinking gaming announcement that made me go crazy. Just the Switch in general. I think watching the Switch presentation in 2017 in January, that like Mario Odyssey, like that entire thing made me go nuts. 3D World made me go nuts too. I couldn't really yell that loud in my 3D World reaction because
Yeah, were you in a closet or something?
I was in a closet at my friend's like vacation house with a bunch of other of my friends because we had like 6 or 7 people in the house, like of like my friends, and they were just asleep because the direct aired at like 8 a.m. It's like the one other friend there whose house it was, who happens to be into Nintendo. He was like, "Bro, you're gonna want to see this." So we set up my recording studio in his closet, and we were just doing it. But gaming announcement that would get me super hyped is Rayman and Smash Kid Icarus on Switch, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. And last but not least, the non-gaming announcement. I really couldn't tell you. I don't want to just say sports because you did the same thing, but like Patriots winning Super Bowl 51 is probably my
That was the
most favorite
Falcons one,
sports
right?
memory. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Probably
that's
my
a very
most
good
favorite
one too.
sports memory. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, if I get into the college I want to get into, then that would be like a sick announcement. But again, I don't know if that counts, so
Yeah.
I don't really know.
It counts, man. All right.
It counts.
Okay, so next question here from Tenta Tech from Discord, with a bit of a long question, so let's bear with me here. All right, so asking, the absence of Iwata and Reggie has been noticed a lot recently, seeing how Nintendo is becoming a very anti-consumer company with things like Joy-Con drift, low-quality hardware, limited releases, etc. That said, how do you see the era of Wii U and 3DS now? Personally, I've missed a lot. Despite its low points, Nintendo was much more friendly back then, and both consoles were much better than the Switch, specifically in terms of hardware, services, and transparency from Nintendo. What do you guys think of this? I think it's quite an interesting topic, and that it is. So take it away.
I see. Well, I'm going to choose my words very carefully because PJ and I are planning on making multiple videos about this topic in the future. We've already like started briefly like discussing about it. And it's a topic that we've both noticed before. So we're as I said, we're definitely planning on making videos about it. Very interestingly enough, I think it's just it's just how businesses work. Makes me sad because
Yeah.
I really like looking back, not even just on the games and the company side of Nintendo, but like Nintendo Directs used to be like filled with like these funny skits by like Miyamoto and Iwata and Bill Trinen and Reggie, and now they're like they're like sleek like Apple presentations. Like it's just I mean it is what
That's
it
what I
is.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I mean. I mean, like, we haven't had like a traditional Direct for quite a while now, so kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
But like generally, that's how I feel about it too. I mean, like I do miss that Wii U 3DS era as well. The 3DS meant a lot more to me than the Wii U, of course, because like I don't know, just like that 3DS and just DS era in general has just like been very sentimental to me because of like all of the great games on there that like I played, of course, and just like the good memories and all
Yeah.
that. So I do agree with you though. Pretty much everything you said, like, we got to be careful what we say here because we're going to be doing a video on it. But I have noticed that as well, and it's a shame. It really is because Nintendo's perception around the gaming world was kind of like, oh, it's like this kids company and all that, and they've done a pretty good job of kind of branching that out to other demographics, of course, but at the same time, I almost miss it to an extent because, like, for example, like those skits and just old directs in general. Like, you never know if like the new presidents have had any word in about like stopping these directs, and we don't know if we're ever gonna like see a traditional direct, quote unquote, like ever again because we haven't seen one. So yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with the user here and you completely on it.
Yeah.
All right,
I mean,
so. Yep, pretty much. Okay, so
yeah.
last question here from Lado in Discord asking, thanks for featuring my questions in the past. I have another. What is the weirdest Smash fighter you want?
Do you have one?
No, I
Because
don't.
I could. Okay, I could think of a ton.
Go ahead.
Do I want these? No, but like,
It's
I
funny.
think they would be funny. Yeah. I mentioned this in the pre-show discussion we did, PJ. I think any sort of Five Nights at Freddy's representation for the meme. Oh my god, that would be so funny. It's not gonna happen. But that would be funny. Meme characters I'd want. I don't know, like Rayman is by far like my most wanted, but he's not even a meme character. You could look at like just bizarre characters like Club Penguin. That would be sick. Like one of the
Yeah,
Club Penguin
it's been
guys.
axed. It's been axed, so it's like it's not possible, but like
Oh yeah,
definitely that
no,
would be
for sure.
hilarious because like I played that so much as like a young kid, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know. 7-year-old Thomas would be literally
Yes.
crying.
Oh yeah.
Um, I I don't know. Like, oh, you know what I'm gonna say? My weirdest Nintendo character, once again, not gonna happen, but this is actually 100% possible within the realm of possibility. Monica from Nintendo Land, the robot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I always thought she was cool. She did a good job like explaining the games and stuff. And I mean, hey, Sakurai could definitely do a moveset for her. So,
I mean, anything is possible. It's Smash, man. Like we've
yeah.
seen so many characters that we thought
If
should
there's
have
like
never been in.
yeah, I agree. If there's like a Nintendo Land 2 or like a Nintendo Land Switch, then it's definitely like that would be on my
Possible.
radar as like a sleeper pick. But
Yep.
as of right now, it's just probably like I don't know.
Yep. And for my take here, I think I the weirdest Smash fighter I will want is another Fire Emblem character, so it would give me an excuse to uninstall Smash because if they do this to me one more time, I'll do it. I really
Well,
will. I've said on Twitter I will uninstall Smash if they either put in another Fire Emblem character or if they put in Fortnite because
that's what I was
recently
gonna say. Yep.
recently in a Zoom call apparently Donald Mustard, which is some like head executive at like Epic Games for Fortnite or whatever, and he was asked about Smash Bros. And he's like, I can't comment on that. And like, dude, like when people have said that in the past, it's like, okay, so they're having some sort of like introduction into Smash, right? So I'm really hoping it's a Mii costume and not a playable character because, okay, dude.
Fortnite. We like Fortnite. We like Fortnite. We like Fortnite. I think that would be amazing, bro. Come on, Fortnite
I
and
think
Smash. Fortnite for
like
dummies.
okay, if there was a Mii costume, okay, but you know what would really make me mad if they made Travis a Mii costume and they made like a Fortnite default skin or whatever a playable
And
character. It's
Rayman
like,
was neither. Yeah, no, I think Fortnite actually will be
I
a
can't even
Mii
imagine.
costume.
Yeah,
I think
I
it'll
mean,
be a Mii
okay,
costume.
if it's a Mii costume and it has like music or whatever, okay,
The
cool.
Battle Bus music. Ooh, I'm playing it right now. Actually, no, we'll get copyright.
That yes.
The brain.
Yeah, good save. Yeah, but for sure. I mean, like, if I want, or not want, but if I would accept any Fortnite kind of induction into Smash, I would say Mii costume, because if there was a playable Fortnite character that, like, was in over, like, Travis Touchdown, which has, like, coming now 3 games on the Switch, No More Heroes 1 to 3,
And
I
the
would have
spin-off Travis Strikes Again. I'm just saying that game.
Yeah,
It does
I
exist.
would.
Everyone forgot about it.
Yeah, I would have a real issue with that. But anyway, that's it for the fan question segment.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I just
I
Fortnite.
just
What a meme.
agree. Yeah, exactly.
What a
like,
meme.
Hello.
It's just what can you even say?
Yep.
With that out of the way, I'm pretty sure, PJ, that will end off today's episode
Yes, it will.
18. This episode is now legal in the United States, or the podcast, I guess I should say, is now legal in the United States. 18, the age of being.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do I don't know actually what you can do at 18. You can't drink at 18 in the U.S. You need to be 21.
I think you can buy cigarettes.
You're just a legal adult, so you can just
Yep.
do adult things. I don't know.
At 19 here, you can drink and you can smoke the
Age
devil.
limits are so weird. Age limits are
It
just
is.
bizarre, bro. Like
It is.
I've thought about
hey,
that before.
but that's for Nontendo podcast.
That's true.
what I'm
Actually,
saying.
we'll do that.
Or
We'll
the
do it in
heavily
future.
awaited shirtless episode 100.
Is that happening? Are we doing that? I
Maybe.
gotta start working out again.
Maybe, dude. That's
For the
what I'm
shirtless
saying.
up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So once PJ and I finish being so busy and
No, once Thomas and I finish school for the year, and we'll get our
summer,
home gyms.
we'll do a summer.
Yeah, we'll get our home
yeah.
gyms, and then we'll do the shirtless episode that everyone has been asking for, because I see just so many comments. Not really, but I just see so many comments.
There was like one.
We'll get it done. Really?
Yeah. Very very questionable. It was along the lines of the are you two dating comments. Yeah, it was just we did put a stop to those though, which was really nice.
Yes,
when we
yes,
spoke
we have.
out about
Yes, we
this.
have. Why do we always end the
Alright.
episodes like this? Like, do you notice that
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Good.
I know what you mean. Anyway, thank you guys all so much for watching. I'm gonna end the episode so it doesn't get any weirder.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's
Okay.
it. We're
Thanks for
ending it.
listening. Goodbye.
And this has been the 18th ever episode of Nintendo Tonight. See you guys.